Yeah, we could hop on a Roach as well. Let's see. Try to keep our Witcher senses up here just in case.
That's it, Roach.
That's a panther. It's like, what is that? Yeah, we'll fight it, I suppose. Roach, you're running the wrong direction. Jurgen is actually the sign you're supposed to use against them, right? Technically speaking. Not that that's going to matter much. Let's hop back on Roach.
Hey, yeah.
And just keep our eyes peeled, see if we happen to come across anything else of interest in this general area. Got this pseudo path to follow, which I doubt we used previously. It's subtle enough.
Might want to look at the map.
That is the end of the world. Curiosity. Okay, so you can't go as far west as the river. Actually, there is a secret strat. He is a secret strat. You deliberately go to the edge of the world, and then that gives you a free fast travel. How about that? How about that? Okay. Camera's really zoomed in for reasons unknown to me. Do we have enough stuff that's worth taking a minute here to sell things? We're doing okay. Maybe not. Unless this is the place where those three brothers are. This is kinda the closest village to where that was. I don't know, that was... Where did we rescued them over here. I guess it's actually closer to Beauclair than it is to this spot way up here. Nutty Brush Auburn. Yeah, I don't know if this is where they've set up shop. But maybe we just keep on moving there, because I don't think we're desperate to sell stuff right now anyway. Should be doing pretty okay. And in that case, we were talking about deliberately going to these question marks on our way over. There are a bunch of question marks that are basically just to any side of this one, although it is closest to just go directly there. Maybe we just go directly there for now, especially while all those descriptions are fresh in our mind.
Yes.
Slow now. Whoa.
We nabbed them. Maybe we nabbed them already. What is wrong with that dude? Yeah, I think given how the context is important, and we just read up on the context, probably best to do this quest while all that stuff is fresh in our minds. Probably best to do that just to maximize our chances of success.
Take it easy.
Loot. Loot under the bridges. Hold on. Hold on. Roach can sprint against the river. It's impressive, Roach. That's how we should be training for your races.
Giddy up.
Oh. Is that a panther? Coloration is different. Makes me think more like mountain lion. It is a panther. It is not confrontational. It doesn't seem. Okay. Maybe we'll get an explanation for that later. It is called LYNX CRAG. Don't know if that means we're gonna come across LYNX. Did we save? If we didn't save, we should probably save. Tavern is near the city cemetery. Like near Beauclair Cemetery? Like down here-ish? You don't mean like the really old beat up cemetery out here, do you? Because that's like... Is that closer? The only city. Okay, fair enough. let's head in here. Okay, we got a cave entrance. Getting very strong creepy vibes coming off this place. Very strong creepy vibes. You know, whether it's the panthers staring down, growling at us that don't actually fight us, the music, the narrow, winding pathway up here, or the fact that we know there's a witch up here, you know, take your pick. Some combination of all the above. That's, in theory, an alternative way out of here. They're wolves. Okay. So I can imagine a world...
The witches.
I can imagine a world in which the witch suddenly makes all those wild animals attack us. So I feel like it is perhaps important for us to get a general sense of what the lay of the land is, because I could see us needing to run at the end of this encounter. I'll take some gold and silver, though, if you don't mind. You know, we'll take the food from the witch, which, you know, I'm sure there are, like, approximately 1,000 fables about people taking food from witches and then suffering the consequences for doing so. We'll tempt fate. But if something goes wrong, remember this moment. We set ourselves up. Okay. Suppose that's a relatively normal thing to do, leaving those hides out to dry. It's not, like, any reason to be further suspicious of them. There is also the cave entrance that we saw that was a little bit further down, but I imagine we're technically supposed to talk to the witch first, and maybe she'll send us down there. So, reminder. The reason why Gareth was confronting the witch to begin with was because he wanted to end the drought, which is super spiteful, sort of. You need to be humble. And that's the gist of it. So here goes nothing. Hello?
Hut looks inhabited. No sign of the dweller, though. Guess I'll look around.
Okay, well, there's signs of something out there. Or that's just one of the panthers. There's one of the panthers. And, you know, the witch can probably, like, see through all those panthers, like, shares their eyes and what have you, as is often the case with creepy witch people who live in remote locations. You know, they'll, like, see through the eyes of the birds and what have you. And this is what I was referring to before, like, okay, this time greater mutagen transmutator from blue to green, so maybe that's the thing, maybe that's the reason why we've seen so many of these formulae, where we're getting, like, blue to green for lesser mutagens, for normal mutagens, and now greater mutagens. That's why it seems like the same combos keep on coming up. Hopefully that means that I'm not going crazy, but I might be. What are you talking about, Liz? You're already crazy. You got me. Okay, turquoise armor die, nice. Deliberately trying to pick up everything other than the red items to begin with. Alright, and I think we've just about done that. Just rotting stuff and ashes at this point. So now let's start going in full Investigator Geralt mode. Oh? Did we potentially start with the biggest thing? We may have.
A wall of spell enhancements or trophies.
Okay. Creepy factor is definitely increasing. Let's examine the arrow.
Arrow broken in half. No doubt to bring
Leave the
bad
bear
luck
pelt
to
for
the
last.
user.
Well, oops. Needless to say, I saw that message right after we investigated the bear pelt. My bad. Too late for everything. Does that mean, like, we're legitimately not gonna be able to check everything out? I mean, it's like, it's minor enough. Could even just reload real quick and see that stuff. I mean, it's not like... I don't know how big of a deal it is. Is it crucially important that we see absolutely everything, and now that we've investigated the bear pelt first, we happen to have ruined it all? Is this entire quest ruined because we happen to have looked at a bear pelt before the other 5 items in this location? Won't be able to read anything? That sounds bad. Don't remember what the notes say. This seems like we should maybe just reset this real quick. We did save more or less right before heading in here, right? Let's do that. Except I can't exit out of this. I can't even pause to load anything right now. Okay, so maybe what we'll do is we'll... That does make it awfully tough to try to reset ourselves and make sure that we get to see everything. I mean, we don't really have a choice but to examine everything now. But my question then would be, will we have an opportunity immediately afterward to just, like, quickly reload, investigate the other things, and then finish with the bear pelt? Or will we get thrown into a series of cutscenes, and we're gonna just get, like, you know, non-stop spoilers for the next 20 minutes? It's like, oh, well, there's no turning back now. In which case, it's hard to undo that or avoid that. So, like I said, I mean, at this point, short of, like, quite literally closing, like, Alt F4ing and relaunching the game, there's not much I could do to get us out of this. Definitely spoil it. Okay. It sounds like that might be worth it. So, like, obviously, I don't know to what extent that is the case, but given how it seemed like you guys were saying this is a pretty important quest, and it does sound like we're gonna miss out on a fair bit just by happening to look at the wrong thing first, let's do that reset here real quick. So I'm gonna throw on a different screen here real quick. I'm just gonna throw on the or I mean, I don't even need your back screen, I suppose. Let's close The Witcher the old-fashioned way, Xing out of the game. Then, as soon as Steam realizes that we are no longer in the game, I will relaunch it. Come on, Steam. Come on, Steam. You can do it. You can do it. We also embodied the 5 virtues. Well done. Okay, so should be booting back up now. And, too much power. Not too long. Well, I mean, like... So again, I don't know how significant it was. But, given how it seemed like that was going to be pretty important, let's just double check. So this, I think this is the one we're looking for. I mean, it's our most recent one, but it doesn't look like it's so far along that we've already passed the point of no return. Let's give this a shot. Yeah, I mean, if you say, like, spoilers and spoilers and spoilers, then that does sound like, you know, we've gone down a bad path. Okay, so yeah, we're back at the top. In that case, just zoom through, loot these things real quick. Something, something, comment about stealing food from, which is something, something, fable, something, something, we were doomed to mess up, something, something, oh wait, hold on, I predicted that we were going to mess up based on that. Haha, I can predict the future!
Outlooks inhabited.
Okay.
No sign of the dweller,
So,
though.
take things. Do not investigate the bear pelt until the end. I did not mean to look at this now, but we will read this now. And we can check the cave if we want. Okay. Maybe we'll do that. We'll see where things stand once we've read all these things and just before investigating the bear pelt, decide if that seems like something we want to do. Let's read it. That creeped me out way more than it should have. Geralt's reaction to that, did you see? How Geralt was like, leaning over, perusing the book, and then as soon as I clicked it, he was like... I recognize that you can't see what I just did, but I just stood up very straight in my chair. The transmutation of bodies is one of the most difficult tasks any mage can undertake. Oh, Oh, I was gonna say, like, is this mage transforming herself? But then again, we have reason to believe that, that the lady that is waiting back in town turned herself into a tree, but I don't think the witch was involved in that. At least the descriptions we read just said she was waiting for a very long time, and so she basically just decided that the best way to live long enough to see Gareth again was to turn into a tree. No witchery involved, surprisingly. Although, maybe there actually was, we just don't know about it. But indeed, only the true masters of the art have ever accomplished it, and even they have only perfected one of its forms. This difficulty arises from psychophysical limitations, since a mage can only safely transform into an animal. You don't say. What was that I was saying about those anthers? And how the witch was, I suspected, seeing through their eyes? Yeah. Something like that. So, since a mage can only transform into an animal, with which he is perfectly attuned, a famous example is that of Ulf Blackbeard, who dwelled for years in a cave with a bear in order to imbibe the life essence of that animal. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah, definitely make sure we pick up that formula. Do not look at the bear yet. Presumably that's an ingredient of some variety. Don't need either of those things. In fact, we've probably already looted that. Okay. Now let's check out... No, there, that. Remarks on the proper administration of yarrow.
Notes on the use of yarrow stems. Interesting.
Yeah, Geralt did it again, where as soon as we actually picked up the item, he just immediately stood straight up. It's just creepy. It looks extremely unnatural. Like he's possessed or something. Yarrow, first and foremost, used for medicinal purposes. As mentioned above, when the leaves of this herb are placed against the flesh, they heal all kinds of trauma, wounds, and sores. Brew it, and the resulting tincture treats the common cold, colic, and loss of appetite. Yet, in addition to their healing properties, branches of the yarrow plant can be used for fortune telling. This method of divination might seem strange upon first glance, but is in truth simple and effective. It truly allows one to focus on the query at hand and gain an answer both accurate and satisfying. But what about when the truth is not satisfied? Dangerous questions.
Smells inconclusive. No idea what ingredients are in there.
Strange. Geralt usually has a pretty finely tuned nose. Okay. Fiber Evonis, no idea what that is. Okay, now prepare yourself for Geralt standing stock straight as soon as we do this.
Conclave of Mages banned this tome.
Oh, is that so? I then came to a place known as the... And then we'll proceed to read it anyway. Not that we're, spell casters ourselves that could really do much damage with it, but still a little strange. I mean, obviously, it mostly is just an indication that, hey, this person is, partaking of forbidden magics. Yes, but then the fact that Geralt just says, oh, okay, don't mind if I do, and just flips through the pages is kind of a little eyebrow-raising. In a world known as Shagai, the mind of man cannot comprehend this land, where non-geometric space and blasphemous colors, the most blasphemous of colors, fly in the face of everything our eyes are accustomed to. In that instant, in the moment of my arrival, I teetered on the verge of madness. I shouted a noiseless cry and sweat bloody sweat when two suns rose above my head. I fell to my knees and prayed to Zothaqua, not for salvation, but for a quick death. And then, day came. Day, capitalized. Okay, so the last thing remaining here is the bear pelt. So, let's save now. And there's that question of whether we do bear pelts now, or whether we go into the cave. And my question there, which may or may not be safe to answer, would be, well, I mean, simply would be, can we go back up here once we look into the cave? And presumably the answer to that is yes. But I'm trying to think of, is there really any way of... I mean, if it's safe to go into the cave now, before looking at the bear pelt, then I suppose I'd like to go into the cave. I guess I don't know if we'll have the chance to explore it later, or if there's any significance to getting the chance to look at it first. But if we can, then why not? It's safe, so yeah, let's go for it then. Let's see, where's the actual entrance to it? I think this is just the backyard. It may not be. Because... what are you doing? Sounds like you're chopping wood. Chomping on a bone or something? Yeah, because I think we got the marker for it, though. I'm not sure we actually saw the entrance. It over here? In theory, yeah. Okay, ooh. A brown armor die. That's another thing that it feels like we're starting to get a lot of different copies of. Various armor dyes, and of course, there are a lot of different colors we can dye our armor, which is cool. But it does... it's hard to know, like, how close are we to getting all those? Are we there yet? We might be. Okay. I know we saved when we were at the top, but let's maybe save on checking out this cave. There are those signs there of life. Don't know if those are on the outside or inside of the cave. This is seeming like this might be a porch kind of situation. Oh. Here's some things. They're obviously red, glowy stuffs. Ooh, Kikimores. Okay. Bought them recently. They were tough. I don't remember what level they were. I think they were level 37, or maybe even just 36 when we bought them previously. And they were tough then. Level 40 is going to be very tough. Let's, before we fight them, let's most importantly, there we go. Now we're good. And we should also put on insectoid oil, right? That's not as important, though. And this, ooh, that, when we were previously fighting the Kikimores, was in the pre-Aerodynite days. So this will perhaps be our first major test with it. And that's an interesting test that shall be, I think. Okay, now what Igni was supposed to be the go-to sign. Alright, I'm assuming there will be a warrior here, even if we don't see it right now. Oh, that is it, right there. Remember, they deal humongous damage. And that was not good. I don't like the little guys getting rid of our Quen, because then that means the big guy is going to come in and he's going to deal astronomically huge damage. We still have Quen. We maybe did, but now we don't. Ooh, that's the big one. The jump. The Air Knight is getting stronger, in theory. It's, I think it's glowing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what action I was supposed to be trying to... I think I was trying to use sign there. I don't know why that was not allowed in middle of combat. Okay, warrior down. That's big. Now, in theory, the workers are much more straightforward to fight. In fact, are they all gonzo? They might be. Yeah, so definitely still working out what the modus operandi is for taking out the Kikimores. That's, I think, going to be a bit of a learning process. That fully burned? Also, is there... I mean, we can burn down the Indriga, or the Kikimore eggs. Do we get anything out of it? Is there any point to it other than just watching them sink to the ground like deflated balloons? Does it do anything? Like, we can't loot them. The previous time we did it, I don't know if it, like, prevented them from coming back on a future occasion or anything like that. Is that the way they came in? Maybe look around a bit. I will continue to look around. There's this. The sword. Oh, what do we have here, though? A dead guy, I think.
Skeleton, bits of some old armor. Wonder who it was.
It's gotta be Gareth. Okay. But Gareth is no more. That is, I mean, given what we heard, not terribly surprising, but good to have confirmed definitively. Now that's the way we came up, yeah. So, is there anything else in this corner? A little bit. Need a way, the other way out. Yeah, I'm just curious to know if there's anything that comes out of destroying all the Kikimor eggs. Okay, this... Where exactly did this get us out here? How do we get back up? This way? That's pretty steep. Might have just been better to go out the way we came in. We'll climb back up. Or at least try to. Back to the beginning we must go, it would seem. Interesting. It normally doesn't tell you. Okay, that was the way in. But I think we can head back up this way. Okay, so now we've done just about everything we're looking to do outside of the investigating the bear pelt. And what have we learned in the process? Let's save. But we've learned that Gareth is definitely dead. We've learned that the witch was trying to learn / perform like shape-shifting-y stuff, which was supposed to be forbidden, and yet they were reading it. What else? And well, we know they're gonna have some crazy satanic ritual-y stuff behind that bear pelt. Some forbidden book. Remember, when we confront the witch, we're supposed to be humble. And we're trying to stop a drought, sort of. I think that's all. All I can think of, at least. This quest is annoyingly particular, so we should go top to bottom? Okay. Let's do it.
A wall of spell enhancements, or trophies.
Okay. So that means arrow first, presumably? Is that actually the one that's at the top? I don't really see the arrow, do I? I might see the arrow. Like between the top left and like center top. Is that sort of an arrow there? Just as long as it's the kerchief last? Okay, gotcha.
Arrow, broken in half.
So I heard this, but I was talking over it last one, so I don't remember. Brings bad luck? Okay. Doesn't tell us much. Branch, though. What about that?
Branch of a grapevine. Could be to ensure a good harvest, or a bad one.
Ah, okay. Given how there was that question of droughts, that would make sense there. The arrow, yeah, not sure if there's a... Can't think of a specific tie other than just, like, bad luck for Gareth. The doll.
Doll looks like an accessory for casting curses.
Yep, this person's clearly up to no good. Okay, so now the kerchief. And... stuff's about to go down. Don't know how, but we'll see. Gonna like go up behind us, all
kerchief,
creepy.
Monogrammed DF. Could use it to break the curse if it's Daphne's.
Hello there, Geralt.
Cats stray in here most
Yep.
oft, yet it seems I've guessed from afar at that. What do you seek?
We're actually a wolf, not a cat. Thank you very much. And all the panthers are actually people, or no, the panthers themselves just casually stroll in.
Already found it.
You do not aim to lift the curse from the tree girl, do you?
That's for me to know, and you to
What if
not
I do?
know.
Then you had best know you waste your time. The old tales? Did your nan not tell them to you? Even I, the witch of LYNX CRAG, would be hard-pressed to overcome the power of love and longing.
Let's start by asking about the and talking about humility versus not humility. There's a very clear answer in terms of what we go with here, but let's ask questions first about the context.
Lady's Night. You ever make it here?
Sir Gareth, yes, he came to sway me, but had a quick change of heart. To be precise, it came after the first night we spent together.
Okay, so you
He
seduced
stayed
him.
a fair while. Then his conscience got the better of him, and he resolved to return to his beloved.
Well, I mean, then he died.
Too, but never made it.
A tragic fate befell him along the way.
You have anything to do with this turn of fate?
Of course.
Yeah,
Was I
at
to
least you're
let
honest about it.
another woman have a man who belonged to me? I couldn't abide it.
Man who belonged to me is, don't think that's a metaphorical statement there. Not to mention that even if it were supposed to be metaphorical, I mean, Gareth was supposed to be in a relationship with this other person, yet this witch is saying that, he belonged to her, so remember, we need to be humble. And so, I can lift the curse myself, definitely not humble. Lift the curse, or else, definitely not humble. Just lift the curse. Pretty please? Definitely the most humble of these options.
What if I asked you nicely to lift the curse? Please.
Gareth met the fate he deserved. And what happened to his wretch was not my fault.
Alright, so
Okay.
you didn't cast the curse. But could you help lift it?
I probably could. But why ever would I?
Because we asked nicely. I'll humble myself. I mean, that is what we're trying to do, although maybe there's a more subtle way to do it. We'll see what the other options are. I'll make you do it. Definitely not. I can lift the curse myself. Also, definitely not. Definitely, I'll humble myself. Given what we know about what we're supposed to do here from the text.
I'll humble myself. Prostrate myself before you like the Gareth of the tale did. I beseech you to help me. Lift the curse that imprisoned Daphne in the tree.
When I saw you enter my hut, I thought, now there is a fellow who shall bend his neck for no one.
Ah, but there you were wrong, I'm afraid.
None. Not even I can restore to the last the years she has lost.
Now,
and
how
erase
long ago
the
was
suffering
this?
she has endured. We cannot bring her back to life, but I shall tell you how you might let her depart in peace. Yet my aid shall have its price. A lock of your hair.
Weird.
I know you won't use it to cast a spell on me.
Yeah.
I require this. I must, for with it I will cast a spell to conceal me from you for all time, and will use it for nothing else. You will now.
But why do you need that?
Again, and you've nothing to fear. I assure you. I always keep my word.
So, that was pretty creepy. You know, why do you need to conceal yourself from us this entire time now? Probably still stick with the program here and stay humble, but this does potentially seem like the territory where she's starting to cross the line a little bit and just enter the whole, okay, now how can we screw with Geralt? So, can say, fine, you got a deal. No chance you'll lift the curse from the tree because I say so. I'm definitely not humble, so that would definitely not be her answer. No chance, I'll manage on my own. I think we need to take the deal. Creepy as it may be. There is more than one way. I do remember we were talking about that last time, that there are technically multiple avenues. So I remember we saw that we gained a bestiary entry for what appeared to be Daphne's spirit. So one avenue we can surmise results in us fighting her to the death, or to the extent that you can fight a spirit to the death, which is probably not what we want to do. I think I was saying the other day that the ideal outcome would have been to find a way to reunite Daphne with Gareth. Now, obviously, Gareth is dead, so that option is immediately off the table. So, in that case, where does that leave us? That means ideal option, no longer possible. Worst option we'd like to avoid, I think, would be fighting Daphne, because then, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of trying to lift the curse. Then, in terms of what the other options might be, lifting the curse and freeing her as a human is probably what we'd like to have happen. It seems the witch is implying, yes, but the curse happened a long time ago, so even if you do that, she's still going to be like this old lady and may not have much left to live for, which, okay, I mean, that's still good, or relatively good. Maybe there's something a little bit better than that. But, the question here, I don't really see how this decision could very well affect what the ultimate outcome is. But I guess what I'm getting at is, like, do we have any, if we want to remove the curse, do we have any option but to partner with the witch? As creepy and untrustworthy as she might be, and as much as it really feels like she's going to stab us in the back as soon as, she takes the lock of our hair, is there any way for us to still remove the curse without teaming up with her? Because we don't know how to do it ourselves. She says she knows how to do it. I feel like, at least as things currently stand, I feel like at this stage we partner with her, or at least start to partner with her, and then as we get a little bit further along and we have more options to go in different directions, that's where we start to look a little bit more at exploring different alternatives. Because at this stage, if we say no chance in any way, the outcome I see happening is basically we failed because we did the whole you're not humble thing, and therefore, everything just immediately goes down the trash, and it turns out, like, you basically you can't lift the curse because the witch won't help you, so you have no choice but to, like, chop down the tree, and then the spirit comes out and fights you, and then you fight to the death, and that's the worst outcome. So I mean, the thing is, like, so I am interested in seeing what the other alternatives are. There's no information here other than side with witch or not side with witch. So we don't really have the information to make an informed decision at the moment. Like, I don't know what the different, like, there's no reason to believe either of these would work based on the information that we have. So I'm going to go with it here and see what other options we have later on, hoping that there are other options later on in which we can, maybe distance ourselves a little bit more from the witch. Maybe not. Maybe if we take this, we're going to be locked in for the rest of the quest, and turns out we get tricked, and so it doesn't end all that well. If so, then unfortunate, but, that's the risk we're taking. So I think we try, and we just really hope that there are other opportunities to switch things up a little bit later on, because like, what do we do? If we do this and she says no, she's not going to help us, because based on what we know from our description, She's not going to if we act all arrogant. So we end up, like, fighting her. We don't know how to fix the curse, and we don't have a solution, like I said. So I think we need the solution first and foremost. Once we have the solution, then we can decide how we go about doing it, and that's where we can decide where or to what extent we involve the witch and listen to what she wants us to do. That's at least how I hope that this plays out. But I have no idea if any of those things are actually options. So, let's do it.
I'll trust you against my better judgment.
I mean, I don't trust you.
Lock of my hair's yours.
Let me make that very clear. I do not trust her. But I don't see an alternative at this stage. Because the alternative is to fail. At least from what we know at this stage.
What do I need to do?
You must convince the maiden her beloved yearned to return, but perished in the attempt. Take her silk kerchief and a fragment of Gareth's remains. His bones lie bleaching in the cave beneath this rock.
Got a bone of his already.
That we
is
do.
taken as a professional precaution. Good. Fire must consume the kerchief and remains. And remember, your heart, your intentions must be pure. Clear?
Yeah. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. And adieu. Once you walk out that door, never shall we meet again.
Okay, so that does mean it's gonna be, you know, she's gonna disappear. And we aren't really gonna have any option but to do what she says we want to do. Or what she says she wants us to do. So, let's see. It says return to the bleeding tree. At the moment, no branching options here. So yeah, I went with the one that was through and through. I went with the humble approach. Because that's what we read that we were supposed to do. And so, even when it seemed like, maybe this is a good time to deviate from that plan, stuck with it, just because, you know, basically she just told us how to lift the curse. Now, is there going to be a catch to it? Probably. Probably. But without that information, what would we have done? Chop down the tree? All we would have known how to do. We had the items. Maybe we could have gotten the items, brought them back to the other Fables expert dude, and he could have told us how to do it, and maybe he would know better. I suppose that would have been our or at least the best theoretical alternative that, again, may or may not have actually been an option, but, you know, that would have been tempting if I had thought about that previously, but I didn't until just now.